Now, this show often talks about housing. Since we launched in September, On the Money has held several discussions on how difficult and costly renting is for so many, particularly young people. And as for actually buying a home, well, prices have soared over recent years, with earnings failing to keep up. And countless adults are now locked out of home ownership, a trend that's causing huge anguish, discouraging couples from settling down and having families. Now, there's one aspect of the UK's ongoing housing crisis that's often overlooked. That's the chronic shortage of subsidised social housing. That is, homes built by local councils or charitable housing associations that are rented out at below market rates, often for life, to low-income and otherwise vulnerable households. Now, the council house waiting list is more than 1 million long, and the chronic shortage of social housing has seen, at the sharp end of the housing market, an escalation of overcrowding and deprivation. A major problem is that local authorities across the UK have pretty much stopped building social housing. During the immediate post-war years, we were building over 150,000, sometimes almost 250,000 council houses each year. That number remained high under governments of both shades, with the Tories in blue and Labour in red, into the 70s. From the late 70s onwards, the Conservative Thatcher government built fewer council houses while selling some off, of course. But it was under the Labour administrations of both Blair and Brown during the first decade of this century that construction of South social housing really plunged almost to zero. Today, the New Economics Foundation has published a report highlighting that countless local authorities are at risk of building no more social housing at all due to the rising costs of obtaining land and paying for construction. Newcastle, Northumberland, Birmingham, Nottingham are among 11 local authorities at risk of this building freeze, says the New Economics Foundation, working with the housing consultancy Altair Limited. 8 of those 11 councils are in the North and Midlands, where the collapse of sociable and affordable housing delivery has removed a vital tool for post-pandemic recovery, undermining the government's levelling up agenda, the think tank says. As our post-pandemic economy struggles to reboot, shortages of both labour and materials are driving up building costs. The Office for National Statistics says the cost of construction materials was 20% higher in July than the same month in 2020. Around 18% of the UK population now live in social housing, down from almost a third in the late 1970s. Yet amidst our ongoing housing shortage, as buying becomes increasingly tough, the need for more council houses is ever more pressing. This often forgotten part of our housing crisis, the part that causes the most human misery, needs urgently to be addressed, and that's our On the Money question today. Why aren't we building more council houses?